All right, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We have a tornado warning now in Texas, so we will begin our live continuous severe weather coverage here for the state. Let's talk about it. This is going to be in the southeastern Texas Panhandle. This is going to be a tornado warning out in portions of southeastern southeastern Donley County and southwestern Collingsworth County in the Panhandle of Texas. This is going to be northeast of the city of Memphis. This is already northeast of 287. This eventually could be an issue for the city of Wellington out here on Highway 83, probably passing near or south of Ludi. This does include the community of Quail out here on Highway 203 west of Wellington. So again, this is a tornado warning now until 9:30 p.m. And in addition, this storm is capable of producing tennis ball size hail. Let's talk about what we have going on here and why the Weather Service is upgraded to a tornado warning. We'll switch out of the how hard it's raining mode and pop on into the which way the wind is blowing mode. Let me turn off these tracks on here, and you can see what we have going on is going to be this activity capable of producing perhaps a tornado. We have a couple of small circulations showing up here on the radar. We have one on 203 just west of Quail, and a second one which I think triggered this warning. That's just east of Giles, and this is going to be moving off to the northeast at about 25 miles an hour. So back over to the how hard to rain mode, you can see we have a pretty elongated thunderstorm here that extends all the way from north of 203 just southwest of Samnerwood all the way south across 203 towards Memphis. This storm has definitely shown an uptick in intensity over the last 20 to 30 minutes, with the potential of this producing tennis ball size hail, and it may try to also produce a tornado. At this point, we have had a couple of circulations on the radar, but no ground truth that I have seen as of this point. But we're going to definitely be keeping an eye on it. We've had a couple of chasers in the area report this may have been a tornado at some point over the last couple of minutes, but the radar signature is not super duper organized in the sense of something where I would say that we have something actually completely down right now. Nevertheless, the environment is definitely supportive of the possibility that we could have a tornado occur. So those of you that are north of Memphis, west of Wellington, we'd advise you to be in a safe place. We do have a report now on Highway 203 of a possible tornado. This is going to be west of Quail. And again, I'll switch back over to the which way the wind's blowing mode. Let me get rid of this storm skit. Sierra Charlie India Tango, that's what they're called. And again, we have a report that this circulation here could have had a tornado on it as it crossed Highway 203. So, again, this is going to be a thunderstorm capable of producing at least brief tornadoes here, northeast of Memphis, west of Quail, moving northeast, eventually crossing Highway 83 out here in Collingsworth County. So, again, those of you south of Shamrock, I'll just say along and north of Wellington, go ahead and get ready to get into a safe place out here. I'd recommend no travel on 83 south of Interstate 40 and north of Highway 9 out here in Wellington. As this thunderstorm moves off to the northeast, we do have a couple of circulations in it, but you can see we've got a couple of distinct updrafts here. So what I think we're going to be dealing with at some point, at least, is we're going to see something reminiscent of an organization cycle occur, and hopefully that will help weaken these for a while, because I suspect once that occurs, we're going to have a situation develop. Now, real quick, what I can do, and I'll just throw it on screen from Storm Chaser Chad Casey here, is, I'm actually kind of shocked it's not showing it. Give me just a second here. This is from Storm Chaser Chad Casey. You can see that he shows what was likely a tornado near Quail, just a few minutes ago. So again, it's kind of blurry here, blame nighttime, but again, we've had a couple chasers now report this tornado near Quail on Highway 203 out here in parts of Collingsworth County. So we can go ahead and say we have had a tornado in the southeastern Texas Panhandle in the last few minutes, and this being from storm chaser Chad Casey. This is going to, again, be a tornado that we had a few moments ago near Highway 203 near Quail. That's going to be with this circulation that's now just north of Highway 203. We're going to have a new tornado warning for this circulation now from the National Weather Service. So this is now a new tornado warning that will run northwest of Wellington.
Your attention, please.
Passing south of
the
Shamrock
National Weather
on
Service
Highway
has issued a
203.
new
So
tornado
this is a
warning
tornado
for
warning. This is gonna
Collingsworth
be
County
in
in
the
Texas.
southeastern Texas Panhandle. You can see eventually this could be an issue for Interstate 40 along the Texas-Oklahoma border. But for the moment, this is a issue for areas of western Collingsworth County in the Panhandle. We have a confirmed tornado now reported by our own storm chaser Chad Casey. And looking at the which way the wind is blowing mode, you can see that we do have a circulation. One south of Highway 203, one north of Highway 203. It's that northern circulation that we had a tornado occur with a few moments ago, and we were able to show you that from storm chaser Chad Casey. So let me switch back over to the how hard it's raining mode. And again, we're watching two storms here, even though it looks like one. And we have two updrafts here with a pretty good hail core. Could be producing tennis ball size hail. One, along the north of Highway 203. This is northwest of Wellington, south of Shamrock. Two is going to be just northeast of Memphis, west of Wellington. Both these storms are moving northeast at about 25 to 30 miles an hour. The potential for tennis ball size hail. And at this point, tornadic activity. So, a big thank you to Storm Chaser Chad Casey for that. Again, this is not an issue impacting a vast majority of Texas. We have a couple of storms out here in the far southeastern Panhandle. The rest of the state is quiet in terms of severe weather issues this evening. We had some storms out in the western North Texas, eastern Big Country area earlier. Nothing severe, although it is definitely windy across most of the state this evening. I can attest to that here from my office in Fredericksburg. Facing the south here, we've had all sorts of nonsense with wind gusts blowing stuff around and blah, blah, blah. So, 9:10 p.m. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer. We are live with tornado coverage for the southeastern Texas Panhandle. A thunderstorm that produced a tornado moments ago near Quail on Highway 203. And again, I'll show you a picture here from Storm Chaser Chad Casey. You can see that there. I know it's blurry, but guess what? It's what you get here at 9:10 at night. So here's your tornado there. And again, that has been a situation with what was a tornado. Now, we haven't had any reports in the last couple of minutes, which is good, but that doesn't mean we're not going to be dealing with issues here. Thank you, Sarah, for posting that link in the Discord, and a big thank you to our moderators, Scott and Sarah, for helping to bring us this life-saving severe weather coverage. And again, as promised, if we had tornado warnings in Texas, we'd be live, and here we are. It may have taken half the night, but alas, Mama Nature gonna do what Mama Nature gonna do. And guess what? We're gonna have more severe thunderstorm potential tomorrow and Saturday across the eastern half of Texas. So get ready, ladies and gentlemen. Mama Nature says spring has sprung. All right, so let's get back. And now the good news, what we're dealing with out here in western Collingsworth County is this is a pretty rural area. So we don't have a lot going on out here in the sense of folks, but we still could easily have some folks out here. So let me try to get some roads on here. County Road 0 out here in western Collingsworth County. Eventually, this will be crossing over County Road Hotel and County Road 150. And again, I realize out here, this is probably mostly cattle land or grazing or an agricultural interest, but by chance we catch somebody out here, my mission has been a success. So again, we don't have any super duper awesome blossom spaghetti-o big bad very mad couplets here, which is my way of saying in a meteorological nonsensical term, we don't have super bright red and pink against super bright green and blue. What we do have is thunderstorm complex here rotating with what was a brief tornado a few moments ago west of northwest of Wellington, near Quail, which is not a label that's going to show up on here because my mapping software on this is only 10 years old and it hates everyone, myself included, so it's a real pain to get that to display. Now, if I was ingesting my iPad feed with the app I use on there, it would. But you know what? It's okay. We'll just say, hey, hey, hey. So, big thank you to everyone joining in this evening. I realize we're talking nonsense here, and 99.9% of you are wondering why I'm live talking about tornadoes in Texas when it's just windy where you are. Well, that's because Mama Nature's throwing a tantrum out here in the southeastern Texas Panhandle. Again, really, southeastern Panhandle out in Collinsworth County. This is not an issue for Amarillo. This is not an issue for most of the state of Texas, but it is for the few folks who live between the city of Shamrock along Interstate 40 south to Highway 203 and Highway 9 here in the community of Wellington. I've been many times chasing over the last 17 years. So, the good news is the velocity circulation couplet of doom, which I'm just making up words at this point, honestly. The velocity couplet, as we go back over to the which way the wind is blowing mode, does not look super duper uh-oh-ville right now. What it does have is plenty of straight line wind and a broad area of circulation here near County Road. I'm going to guess that's not a 0, but Oscar, blame the dyslexia. And this is moving off to the northeast towards County Road 150 and County Road Hotel out here west of Highway 83 up in northern Collinsworth County. So this part of the storm is not going to be an issue for the city of Wellington. Wellington, though, has a big old, big, bad, very mad hail core sitting west of it with up to tennis ball size hail. And that is going to be moving off to the east-northeast and may clip the town before moving over 83. Now, I can play the super duper awesome blossom my makeup marketing idioms too because I'm smart. Not really, but let's play a loop and show you what this is doing. So again, we have tornado warnings out here near in northwest of Wellington. So don't be going south on 83 out of Shamrock. Don't be going north out of Wellington. This is already northeast of 287, so all the commercial traffic, freight traffic, you're fine. If you're looking off to the northeast, you're going to enjoy one heck of a lightning show. Congratulations! I myself enjoyed doing that when driving home from chases, at least when I used to chase. But what we do have is a thunderstorm that produced a quick tornado, brief tornado if you prefer that terminology, near Quail. That's going to be on Highway 203, good distance west of Wellington. Haven't heard any damage reports at this point. It is nighttime, so hopefully it just did some clipping of the grass, but that is now going to be moving up towards
the National Weather Service has issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for
Collinsworth and Wheeler County in Texas.
But we definitely can't rule out the potential for a spin-up tornado with this, as this continues moving off to the northeast. Those of you watching in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app, good evening. Hi, thanks for popping on in with that app notification. It's a good time to download the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app. If you don't have it, you can get notified when we have live coverage. In fact, some of y'all are going to be getting notified when you have warnings, because we started rolling that out last month. You can also, Interactive Weather Radar, our always live 24/7 live stream. But, alas, we're talking about a storm up here in the southeastern Texas Panhandle. This little complex of storms has tennis ball size hail, produced a spin-up tornado a few moments ago, which we were able to show you courtesy of Storm Chaser Chad Casey. We'll show you again and again. It's not the prettiest picture, but you can definitely see down there that, yes, we did have a tornado, and we had some other chasers reported as well. So a big thank you to our amazing moderators, Scott and Sarah, for helping to keep me situationally updated and to help y'all out as well. If you haven't already, be sure to give them a big old thank you in the chat as a sign of appreciation, because we most definitely appreciate them. All right, so let's take a look at what we have going on. I'm going to pull up some chats on here and hopefully not hear myself in an echo chamber, but let's see what we can do. So let's see if this is going to pop up right. Nope, you get nothing. So let's take a quick view out. We're going to take a look at the entire beautiful state of Texas. The satellite's going to pop on and enough city labels to make you think half the world is located in Texas, which, I mean, it might as well be, because who wouldn't want to live here in this beautiful, amazing state? We'll knock that down, we'll put on the radar, and guess what? You can see we did have some showers down in the Edwards Plateau earlier. Those are evaporating just like my hairline. We had some storms and showers in western North Texas earlier. Those are still technically moving off to the northeast, but there's nothing severe with that. You can see the only nonsense we're dealing with right now, and we did have some storms near Midland earlier, but the only nonsense we're dealing with right now is going to be this activity in the eastern, southeastern panhandle of Texas, where we've gone from just having a little bit of hail to some pretty big hail and spinny doom issues. So we've got tornado warnings in effect for Collinsworth County. This is going to be through 9:45 p.m. So again, this is north of Wellington at this point, northeast of Memphis. 287, you're fine. Amarillo to Childress, there's nothing going on right now. Had some hail around Memphis early. In fact, we had quarter-size hail near Memphis, golf ball-size hail north of Memphis. We had tennis ball-size hail west of Memphis on 256 earlier. And now we've got this stormy throwing a temper tantrum. And we had a brief tornado about 10 to 15 minutes ago west of the city of Wellington by a good ways. And now we'll go back to the super-duper high-res radar, and you can see we do have a bit of an inflow notch here west of Wellington. We'll take a look at the which way the wind is blowing mode. And again, there is a bit of a circulation out here, too, really. We've got one sitting north of Quail, southwest of Ludi and Samnerwood, well northwest of Wellington, and then a bit of a straight line wind signature out here west of Wellington on 203. Either way, that's a fancy way of saying this is not a particularly pleasant thunderstorm. Plenty of strong winds, big hail up to the size of tennis balls, and, yep, some spinny doom. So, again, I realize a majority of you, 99.9% of you, are not impacted by this, wonder why I'm yippity-yapping, but guess what? We have 254 counties in this amazing state, and we cover them all. So, even if this tornado warning has a population of about 10, we're here. We do note a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued all the way up to Shamrock here on Interstate 40 for the hail core portion of this, the potential for up to tennis ball size hail and wind gusts of 60 miles an hour. The tornadic portion of this storm is still farther south, and hopefully, you know what? It won't go tornadic much longer. So, let us keep on going. And guess what? Storm chances move across the eastern half of Texas, mostly Saturday. We could have some storms in North Texas tomorrow night, but that is a tomorrow issue, not a tonight issue. So let us enjoy the night for the 99.9% of you who are not dealing with nonsense this evening. A big thank you to everyone who is tuning on in. Make sure you click that subscribe button to stay notified when we have new videos and new content, live content as well. Those of you, a big special welcome for watching in the free Texas Storm Chasers mobile app or on the Texas Storm Chasers website. Yeah, we do have a free app. You can get your local weather forecast in it, in fact. It's just like the mobile app you probably use for the day-to-day forecast, except ours is better because we get our data in terms of the 7-day forecast straight from the National Weather Service. In terms of interactive weather radars, we got that, and we even have, of course, this live coverage. We have a 24/7 live stream, actually, where you can enjoy some tunes and weather conditions, and you get to see big old Baldy-in-Chief when we have nonsense like this. Spinny doom. So we do have a bit of a circulation sitting northwest of, well, technically just west of Ludi right now, just southwest of Samnerwood. This is out in Collinsworth County. All right, now let's take a look at the picture we just got from Storm Chaser Chad Casey. And this was taken 4 minutes ago. You can see, I assume he is on Highway 203 still, west of Wellington. That looks like 203. You can see a bit of an appendage out here north of 203. This is out in Collinsworth County, west of Wellington. Yeah, this is 203 because 83 is 4 lanes out of Wellington to the north. So that is going to be moving northeast and we'll be keeping a close eye on it as it continues moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. Again, a tornado warning until 9:45 p.m. for the potential of a spin-up tornado, damaging hail up to the size of tennis balls, and 60 to 70 mile an hour winds. Darlin, thank you very much for the recommendation of the app. We appreciate it, and hope y'all who are joining us appreciate it too. And again, this is a service we do for the entire state of Texas. If we had tornado warnings in the big country, tornado warnings down in the Concho Valley, we'd be there for you. If we had a tornado warning in the Rio Grande Valley, we'd be there for you. Just taking a look at what else we have going on this evening. For those of you wondering how I'm looking around, probably a good time to mention I have a lot of computer monitors in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I am a nerd kingdom galore. So, we are here talking about what we have going on, and right now we have storms in the southeastern panhandle throwing out big, bad, very mad hail, damaging winds, and we did have a brief tornado out northwest of Wellington about 20 minutes ago, which brought forth the tornado warning, and why we are here at the moment chatting about it. What I'm looking at right now, I'll actually let you in on a hint. I don't usually go out of state, but what I'm looking at is this pretty bad-looking tornado signature up in northern Oklahoma right now, near Helena, Oklahoma. You can see that nasty circulation right there. You've got tornado debris signature. So that's what I was looking at. And again, that's a large tornado up here in northern Oklahoma, near Helena, Oklahoma. That's going to be moving over Highway 58 up towards Jet, Oklahoma, there in Highway 64. And eventually, if it keeps up, it may actually move near Wakita, Oklahoma, which is actually a real community up here. I've got a Twister Museum and everything. A very nice woman up there manages that. But enough of that. So, let's talk about what we have going on tomorrow. Now, this is the severe weather outlook for Friday afternoon and Friday evening. When I said the eastern half of Texas gets storms, well, you do. This is the Storm Prediction Center's latest outlook. We'll get a new one after midnight, but we're going to be watching two corridors of potential storm mischief tomorrow. One is going to be northeast Texas, where we may have one or two storms. There's a question. Are we going to get storms south of Red River? If we get storms, it's going to be one of those situations where we either have no storms and everything's, it's a nice evening, or two, we get one or two storms and we have tornadoes, giant hail, damaging winds. It's that kind of a situation. And then later, Friday night to Saturday morning, we're going to see thunderstorms develop along a southward moving cold front from the Concho Valley Big Country northeast into North Texas, and that will have the potential of hail, not really a tornado threat. In terms of the tornado risk tomorrow, it's not going to show up well here because the Storm Prediction Center had to go break things. But we have a risk of tornadoes tomorrow evening, late tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, parts of North Texas, Northeast Texas, dependent on storms. And then on Saturday, southeastward moving cold front is going to bring the risk of scattered to numerous showers and thunderstorms with the risk of large to very large hail and damaging winds to the southeastern half of the state of Texas on Saturday. Ironically, when I'm supposed to be at a Texas Severe Storms Conference in Arlington up in DFW on Saturday. So that's going to be fun to deal with. Not. But alas, you're not here to hear me talk about that. You're here to hear about Spinny Spinny Doom Doom. So let's get back to it. And here we go. Here is the storm approaching Samnerwood and Ludi up in Collingsworth County. Now, I will be honest, I'm not seeing a lot of super strong low-level rotation with this right now, but one heck of a hail core with this. So, With that, those of you in Sandnerwood, Ludi, southwest of Shamrock, you are getting hail right now, and it could be some pretty decent size hail. Again, it could be tennis ball size hail back in this storm core. We do have a tornado warning because we had a brief tornado a bit earlier, but right now we haven't had any recent reports. But we are definitely watching this storm with interest. A very significant hail core with this right now. And that's going to be moving across Highway 83. Eventually, this hail core will be moving over Texola and Eric, Oklahoma, around 10:15 p.m. on Interstate 40. So those of you from Shamrock east to Eric up in Oklahoma, get ready for some damaging hail over the next 45 minutes. And it could be the potential for that hail to be tennis ball size. So very big hail for sure, and is possible. Continue to have a very large tornado in northern Oklahoma. Thankfully, we are not dealing with that kind of a storm here in Texas right now. Back over to the which way the wind is blowing mode again. We do have a bit of rotation near County Road H and County Road 150 here in Collinsworth County. This is now north of Highway 203. So if you're south of Highway 203, this is not an issue for you anymore. Wellington, this is staying north of Wellington. So if you're in Wellington right now, there at one of the gas stations or the motel on 83, you can look north out of town right now and probably get a great view of the storm, and you'll be perfectly fine. Those of you in Ludi to Samnerwood, Shamrock South, you've got problems with this. Could be some pretty big hail, again, up to tennis ball size hail, damaging straight line winds over 70 miles an hour, and yes, we can't rule out a brief tornado. This did produce a brief tornado about, 30 minutes ago at this point, near Quail on Highway 203 west of Wellington, but we have not had any recent reports of that. So that's good, but we are definitely keeping a very close eye on what's going on out here, just in case Mama Nature throws another temper tantrum. We have no other severe storms out here in the Panhandle right now. This is the only severe storm in Texas, and maybe with some luck, we can get this thing out of the state, and we'll be done for the night here in a bit. But for now, we have a very nasty hailstorm moving across Collinsworth County, and eventually, the potential will exist for this thing to bring hail to parts of places like Sayre and Eric, Oklahoma. We are keeping an eye out to see if this reorganizes. Remember how I mentioned earlier, for those of you who have had the misfortune of sticking around this long, I mentioned how we had two separate updrafts or hail cores, or storms organizing out here. Well, now we're starting to get that one singular storm look, and we are monitoring. I'm watching right here west of Wellington, a little bit of an inflow notch starting to develop out here. So we're going to have to see. That might be an indication we have a new low-level circulation beginning to develop. This would still remain well northwest of Wellington, but could be an issue for Ludi in parts of Collinsworth County, north of Highway 203, generally south of County Road Hotel. And yes, I know it's County Road H, but I add descriptors to my letters because I can. All right, let's see what's going on here. And we have multiple storm chasers out here, by the way. I know we have Adam Lucio, Alex Bartholomew, Jenny Brown, Chad Casey, Jason Cooley. We got plenty of folks out here, so if we get something, we should be able to tell you and show you pretty quick. So I'm listening to a report. So we'll keep an eye on that. But again, pretty nasty looking hailer out here in Collinsworth County at this time. Let's pause this. Let me show you the which way the wind is blowing mode and that little circulation I was talking about. Yeah, it's definitely more prevalent there now, isn't it? So we might have a new circulation now developing out here. Did VMix close on that? Hold on a second. Camera will follow me, but I don't know why it closed on there. That's interesting. I hope it didn't cut off the live streams. But we do have a circulation now. This is going to be about 2 miles west of County Road 150, moving off to the northeast. So again, new circulation developing several miles northwest of Wellington, moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on that. All right, enough with me not paying attention to this. So there's your latest radar velocity scan. So you definitely can see we have that circulation northwest of Wellington. Let's go ahead and put about 10 miles northwest of Wellington. That's going to be moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. So let's get rid of that. We'll switch back over to the how hard it's raining mode. And let us know where you're watching from this evening, by the way. Definitely enjoy hearing all the places folks are watching from. All right. So there you can see the inflow notch, which is indicative of some storm mischief. You can see it's becoming more organized and at least visible on the how hard it's raining mode. As we switch over to the which way the wind's blowing mode, again, you can see a bit of rotation there. This is looking at the wind direction. So the greens, those are winds blowing west towards the Amarillo radar. The reds here, those are blowing away from the Amarillo radar. And there's your area of rotation. We'll get a new scan in here in just a second. So as this continues moving northeast, you can see the Weather Service has updated this warning. So I'll just read the text directly for you. At 9:34 p.m., a severe storm capable of producing a tornado was located just southwest of Samner Wood, 9 miles south of Shamrock, moving northeast at 30 miles an hour. In addition to the potential of a tornado, this storm is producing tennis ball-size hail. So again, those of you out here near Samner Wood and Ludi and Collinsworth County, heads up, can't rule out a tornado, so we'd like you to be in a safe place. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible in a sturdy site-built structure. I know we don't have many folks out here. This is a lot of grazing land and agriculture, but by chance, if we have folks out here, hey, you know what? My mission has succeeded, and you now know what's going on. So again, this area of circulation is about 8 to 9 miles northwest of Wellington, moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So as it continues to do so, we'd like folks to be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. We'd like folks that are north of Wellington not to go up 83 into the path of the storm, and folks that are in Shamrock to not go south on 83 into the path of this storm. Even though we haven't had any recent reports of a tornado down, this storm is definitely capable of throwing out tennis ball-size hail, damaging winds, and yeah, we are looking at the potential for an increasing tornado risk here northwest of Wellington. Shamrock, you've got heavy rain and hail right now, and the potential will exist for the potential of spinny doom mischief well south of Shamrock. This tornado threat's not an issue for Shamrock, but it is going to be an issue on Highway 83 about 10 miles north of Wellington. Let me see if I can set this up. Again, I have monitors surrounding me here, but I'm actually setting up my iPad quickly. I know, Mr. Baldy-in-Chief, why are you doing all this in the middle of live coverage? Because, well, it's just us chatting here, right, folks? So let's press that, let's press that. Please don't block my entire view of my monitor here. And here we go. In case you can't tell, I'm pretty good at talking to myself, which is why I probably can relate to many of you watching on stream because, well, I'm talking to myself on a camera. So, again, potential for tennis ball size hail. This is going to be northwest of Wellington by about 8 to 10 miles. There's the latest scan, and you can see it's going to be moving off to the east-northeast at about 30 miles per hour. So this circulation right now is going to be near FM 1981, east of County Road 120, coming up towards County Road November and County Road 150. So County Road 150 near FM 1981, this is going to be heading your way. The potential for hail right now, right over Samnerwood there on FM 1036 and 1548. And again, this is moving off to the northeast at about 30 miles an hour. So the potential for some nasty hail. Now, here on Highway 83 in Shamrock, it's storming and pouring right now. I'm sure we've got hail on 83 right now around Shamrock, heading south. But the tornado risk will be staying well south of y'all. In terms of everywhere else, we have nothing else going on in the state of Texas. Maybe some showers overnight, but no additional crazy nonsense. So if you're watching anywhere else besides Collinsworth County here in the eastern panhandle of Texas, you are okie dokie. Now, we are going to have storms tomorrow, maybe, and Saturday, more likely. But right now, we do have a tornado warning for about another 5 minutes around Samnerwood and Ludi here on Highway 83. This is about halfway between the city of Shamrock, which is in the very top here, and Wellington, which is south. We have a storm that has a history of producing a brief tornado earlier, but this is now moving off to the northeast. This will be crossing Highway 83 with quite a bit of hail, as it is doing right now. And yes, the potential for a circulation. We are definitely starting to see more indications of that now as this storm approaches Highway 83. And I can just tell you right now, Highway 83 between FM 1439 and FM 3446. So as this storm continues to move off to the east-northeast, we'd like folks up here in northern Collinsworth County to go ahead and, just give us a few minutes of your time, take shelter. There's a lot of hail out here between Shamrock and north of Wellington. Shamrock, you're not dealing with a tornado issue right now, but you are dealing with hail. This is all going to be moving off to the northeast pretty quickly, though. So, as it continues to do so, we will be able to get this out of Shamrock here in the next 15 minutes or so. And that is the good news. We haven't had any recent reports of a tornado with this. I think we hail most definitely, but in terms of tornadic mischief, we have not. So, honestly, we might be able to let this tornado warning go here at 9:45. We're going to have to see what the National Weather Service office in Amarillo elects to do. There's no doubt this storm is what we call severe. This thing definitely has hail. It could have hail up the size of tennis balls here on Highway 83. Some smaller hail possible in Shamrock, but definitely getting some decent hail around Samnerwood north of Wellington by like 10 miles, approaching the community of Ludi. Quail, you're clear. So Quail, you are clear. This is northeast of you. I haven't heard any damage reports or anything like that, so hopefully that means we don't have any, but we are continuing to monitor this storm as it moves off to the northeast from Highway 83. Now, the good news is, again, we haven't had any confirmed reports of tornadoes in the last little while. This storm definitely is still quite intense looking. Shamrock, you'll be getting out of the hail here in the next few minutes. We are going to continue monitoring this storm as it moves over northeastern Collinsworth County and far southeastern portions of Wheeler County. But hopefully, we'll be able to get rid of this tornado warning sooner rather than later. But regardless, hail is going to continue to be a big problem with this as it moves off to the east-northeast. And eventually, this will be crossing over Interstate 40, probably near Eric to Sayre, Oklahoma, up here in western to central parts of Beckham County in Oklahoma. But otherwise, as we zoom back out, we have no other storms in the state of Texas. In fact, I'll just switch over to the statewide view. We'll turn the satellite off because we already know it's the middle of the night, but I guess I can switch it over to that. We'll switch it over to that. No, we won't. Here you go. We have some light showers western North Texas, nothing to write home about. We have some showers in the Edwards Plateau. Looks like we are going to have a new tornado warning. Stand by. All right, so we are going to have a new tornado warning. This is going to be a continuation of the first tornado warning. So the Weather Service in Amarillo sees enough evidence.
Your attention, please. The National Weather Service has issued a new tornado warning for
Collinsworth
into
and Wheeler County in Texas
and northeastern Collinsworth County. So let's go ahead and talk about who is in and who is out. The city of Shamrock is not in this tornado warning. Shamrock, this is not an issue for you. Those of you from Samnerwood, north of Wellington, to pretty much Texola, Oklahoma, this is going to be an issue for you. Now, this tornado warning does include Interstate 40 from east of Shamrock to the Oklahoma state line. So we need folks that are in areas east of Shamrock to pretty much near Eric, Oklahoma, to go ahead and start taking your tornado safety precautions. And again, a sturdy site-built structure. That's going to be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And we'll be able to get you on your way here pretty quick. I look at some data. So, let's talk. Tornado warning until 10:30 p.m. for northeastern Collinsworth and southeastern Wheeler County. At 9:43 p.m., a severe thunderstorm capable of producing a spinny doom known as a tornado is located over Ludi, 12 miles south of Shamrock, moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. So, speeds increased a bit. Storm's moving a bit more quickly to the northeast. And this is not going to be an issue for Wellington or Shamrock. Shamrock and Wellington, you were never in the tornado warning, but I'll just give you an all clear anyway to make life happy. Let's switch back over to the which way the wind is blowing mode. And real quick, before I do that, let me see which radar site is going to be closer to this. About 80 miles from Amarillo. Okay, so it's actually going to be the radar down in Frederick, Oklahoma. We want to use the closest radar possible to get the best low-level angle of what's going on. So here is what we have in terms of the which way the wind is blowing mode. You've got winds moving towards the radar in Frederick, Oklahoma, in green, winds in red moving away. We've got winds moving away at about 50 miles an hour, winds moving towards it about 25. So about 60 to 70 mile an hour rotation with this thunderstorm as it moves off to the east-northeast at, again, 35 miles per hour. And real quick here, I just, we don't do this too often, but I want to take a look at something because you don't see this, thankfully. We have a significant tornado passing very near Nash, Oklahoma, just southeast of the Vance Air Force Base radar site. In fact, you can see it right here. The circulation, it's so close, you can actually see it wrapping around like that. In terms of what it looks like on radar, I'll just pull this over here real quick to show you the de-aliased velocity. Again, folks, that's a tornado passing just southeast of the Vance radar site near Vance Air Force Base here in northern Oklahoma. And unfortunately, that's making a beeline towards Waukita, Oklahoma, which is the town featured from the 1996 thriller movie Twister, and the Aunt Meg town. It's actually a real town. It's got a real cool Twister museum run by a very nice woman there. So we wish them all the best. But back to the state of Texas. And you can see, nasty looking supercell here that is north of Wellington over Highway 83. The potential for tennis ball size hail. This thing's having a temper tantrum issue as it moves off to the northeast at about 35 miles an hour, very near the community of Ludi. So, Ludi, it's over you right now. The potential for tennis ball size hail moving northeast right towards Texola and Eric, Oklahoma. So, Eric, Oklahoma, about 10:45 p.m. Texola, about 10:30 p.m., moving off to the northeast at 35 miles an hour. This is not going to be an issue for the city of Shamrock. This is not an issue for Wellington. This was out near Quail earlier. Quail and Highway 203, you're clear. There is no other storms out here, by the way. We're down to one and done. So that's what we're dealing with right now. With this thunderstorm. I just look at some other data. Yikes. We're just keeping a close eye out here at data. But again, this is going to be over rural portions of northeastern Collinsworth County, eventually passing or skirting far southeastern Wheeler County. Again, not an issue for Shamrock. Shamrock, you probably had some hail, but you're doing better now. Let me switch back. And we are seeing increasing rotation now over Ludi and Highway 83. With this thunderstorm as it moves off to the northeast. So again, we're dealing with a very rural environment, but still, we want to respect the fact we could have people out here watching, and for that, we appreciate you tuning in. So, area of circulation very near Highway 83, very near FM 1439 down to maybe FM 3446, moving off to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. This is going to be crossing over 1439, not 1436, 1439, east of 83 here shortly, passing over county roads 210, 220, 230, and we'll just say etc. until you get to Oklahoma, up in Beckham County, Oklahoma. So with that, this storm is moving northeast. So Wellington, you're fine, you're clear. Shamrock, you're clear. Those of you in Texola to Eric, Oklahoma, this is going to be an issue for you as this storm moves off to the northeast at about 35 miles an hour. Samnerwood, those of you on 1036 west of 83, this should be past you. Just give us another 5 minutes to be super duper clear. This is going to be an issue for those of you northeast of Samnerwood as it moves off to the northeast. We have no reports of anything down right now in terms of tornadic activity, but we definitely do have the potential for quite a bit of large hail and damaging wind gusts. As this moves off to the northeast at about 35 miles an hour. As it does so, we want folks in areas of northeastern Collinsworth County, northeast of Ludi, to be in a safe place. That's the lowest floor. Center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Eventually, this is going to be crossing Interstate 40, probably near the Texas-Oklahoma state line, near Texola, or perhaps even further east near Eric, which is about 6 miles inside of Oklahoma. Zooming out, you can see we have nothing else going on. I know 99.9% of Texas is probably like, what's going on? Real quick, we'll look at the Fort Worth radar again. We have some showers from Stevens County, northern Palo Pinto, Jack County, Wise County, Montague County. Yeah, I have those memorized. Isn't it scary? Roughly from northeast of Breckenridge, southeast of Graham, southeast of Jacksboro to near Runaway Bay, like Bridgeport, Decatur, moving off to the northeast. Nothing to it, enough to wet the ground, if that. Back here in the eastern Texas Panhandle, we have a severe storm capable of producing damaging winds, very large hail, and a tornado northeast of Ludi, moving northeast towards Texola and Eric, Oklahoma. This will stay well southeast of Shamrock, so Shamrock, you're clear. Quickly, let's just show you what this thing is up in far northern Oklahoma. This is just a monster tornado, just east of the radar site, moving up towards areas of Sand Creek, Waukita, Oklahoma. This is just a monster tornado, unfortunately. Tornado debris signature northwest of Nash, Oklahoma. That's been a relatively long track storm all the way back to Fairview, Oklahoma. That's the kind of storm we could be dealing with tonight, but thankfully we have not so far. And hopefully it stays that way. This storm that is now northeast of Ludi, moving up into northeastern portions of Collinsworth County, is showing increased mid-level rotation. But you know what? We just don't have a lot of folks out here, thankfully, in terms of communities. But this is going to be crossing over places like County Road 210 all the way to the state line of Oklahoma. This is going to be crossing over places like County Road G, County Road H. Eventually, in far northeastern Collinsworth County, County Road 270, and then eventually getting up towards E1283 in Beckham County, Oklahoma, southwest of Texola and Eric. This storm has a nasty look to it, and at times is showing increasing rotation with it as it moves northeast. So we can't rule out a tornado with it, but again, it's over very rural portions of Collinsworth County. Large hail, probably on I-40, west of Texola, east of Shamrock. It is raining in Shamrock, but it shouldn't be much more than that. I'm just taking a look at a variety of data here. Let me switch over to the Frederick radar. and show you what I'm looking at. We are seeing, now we are looking pretty high up here. But at about 7,500 feet, we are definitely seeing an uptick in mid-level rotation with this thunderstorm. Let me put some roads back on here again. Let me play this real quick. Where'd my phone go? So County Road 210, County Road 230, County Road H. Eventually, this will be getting over to County Road 270 up here in northeastern Collinsworth County in the eastern Texas Panhandle. So as this storm continues moving northeast at about 35 miles an hour, those of you near Texola, Oklahoma, to eventually even near Eric, Oklahoma, heads up, this thing's moving your way and is capable of producing a tornado along with tennis ball size hail and damaging wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. Benarine, Texas, you're under this tornado warning. We're going to be keeping a very close eye on what is going on this evening as we deal with Mama Nature's temper tantrums. Weather Service in Oklahoma just put out a severe thunderstorm warning for this storm as it enters their county warning area. We'll see what they do beyond that. But again, we have a tornado warning for northeastern Collinsworth County and far southeastern Wheeler County. This does not include Shamrock. Let's go ahead and give some all clears. Ludi, you're clear. Highway 83, you're clear. Samnerwood, you're clear. Shamrock and Wellington to Quail, you're all clear. Oh, excuse me. And then once we get this storm out of the state, hopefully we will be done with mischief for the evening. But as you can see on the how hard it's raining mode, the storm itself actually has a pretty organized look to it. There's no doubt it's severe. Quite a bit of hail, damaging winds. And yes, at times we are seeing decent mid-level rotation. Unfortunately, the closest radar is 80 miles away, which means we're looking around 7,500 feet above ground level in the mid-levels of the storm. While, tornadoes, low-level circulations, the lowest 1 to 2,000 feet. So we're kind of having a guesstimate here. But as this storm continues moving northeast, the potential for large hail, damaging winds, and quite a bit of rainfall, in addition to the potential of some spinny doom. All right, real quick, while we have everyone here, and as it's 10 o'clock, let me say good evening. I'm Texas Storm Chasers Baldy-in-Chief David Reimer here on the 5th of March, 2026. I'm going to show you the statewide radar. Let me turn off the satellite data. We know it's the middle of the night. We do have a tornado warning for northeastern Collinsworth County in the southeastern panhandle of Texas. We have showers in the Edwards Plateau, the Western Hill Country, maybe a few rumbles of thunder. Nothing severe with this from Uvalde up to Junction on I-10, and then a couple of showers in western North Texas, just enough to wet the ground. Severe storm, the last of which is only about 8 miles away from moving into Oklahoma. That storm is going to be moving off to the northeast at 35 miles an hour. And as it does so, it is capable of producing golf ball to tennis ball size hail, damaging winds, and again, big hail and maybe a spin-up tornado. So, real quick, we've had some folks asking what we have going on the next few days. So let me go ahead and clear some of this off. I don't know why this is. There we go. This is the latest severe weather outlook from the Storm Prediction Center for Friday. Now, we're going to get a new one here in about 2 hours, but this is what we have so far. The potential for most of us to stay pretty quiet tomorrow. Much of tomorrow should stay on the quiet side. Now, conditional risk and conditional on there being a storm or two south of the Red River. Late tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. North Texas, roughly from DFW to north of Tyler to Texarkana, north, including places like Sherman, Paris, Texarkana. If we get a storm that can develop tomorrow afternoon or evening, the potential will be pretty substantial. It will be severe with a risk of very large hail, damaging winds, and even a risk of a tornado. But confidence is not high right now. We are going to have storms south of the Red River. Clearly, confidence is higher north of the Red River. So it's one of those situations where hopefully we have no storms and it's just a breezy, windy, humid evening. If we have a storm, we're going to have a problem. Later Friday night into Saturday morning, a cold front is going to move southeast. That is going to fire off storms along and behind the cold front with the risk of some of those storms producing hail. That's what most of this green and yellow shaded zone from San Angelo to Abilene to Wichita Falls through the hill country, the Brazos Valley, and East Texas is for. During the day Saturday, the risk of storms will increase across the southeastern half of Texas, with a renewed round of nasty storms possible with very large hail Saturday afternoon and evening from south central Texas through central Texas, the Brazos Valley, southeast Texas, and east Texas. And that could result in some localized flooding, strong winds, a whole lot of rain, and lightning. We'll show you the super-duper awesome blossom high-res rapid refresh model. Let me load it. I just had to press some buttons here because I'm about as technologically advanced as, well, I don't know, pick someone who's not particularly technologically advanced. All right, so we're going to load that. We're going to load that. We're going to press that. We're going to hit that. We're going to press some more buttons. We're going to say, wee, and here we go. He. So let's load this from, I'm just going to do 6 a.m. tomorrow through 6 p.m. Saturday because it's my show and I can. Now, we're going to let this data load for a minute because I'm loading about 500 megabytes of stuff real quick. And as we do so, I could show you here's 6 a.m. Guess what? Spotty showers, maybe some fog, southeastern half of the state. Notice it's pretty quiet. Here is noon tomorrow. Now, we may see some showers and maybe even a few storms, eastern half of the state, in a humid air mass early tomorrow afternoon. None of this stuff is expected to be severe. It's going to make the roads wet in spots. Now, here's 2 to 3 p.m. tomorrow. You can see, yeah, we do have the potential for a few stronger storms, North Texas, Northeast Texas, and we're going to have to watch and see just how this materializes, but some of those may have hail. Now, here's 6, 7, 8 p.m. We got storms in eastern Oklahoma, Arkansas, really not much in Texas outside of maybe a storm around Paris, Lamar County in Northeast Texas. Again, we're going to have to see how far south this activity develops. But most of the state tomorrow, again, not much going on through the day into the evening. But guess what happens early Saturday? Here's 3 to 4 a.m. Saturday. Cold fronts moving southeast across the Concho Valley, Big Country, North Texas. Line of storms fires up. Storms moving into DFW and Texoma. 6, 7, 8 a.m. Saturday. 9 a.m. Saturday. Guess what? We got storms. North Texas, Texoma, Northeast Texas, moving on to the southeast. And then we got storms at noon with some hail, probably in the hill country in central Texas, Northeast Texas. And that just continues on through the day Saturday with more storms developing with southward extent. So that is what it's looking like. That conditional risk for nasty storms tomorrow afternoon and evening in Northeast Texas. And then we get plenty of storms hanging into Saturday and Saturday night. Now, let's get back to the tornado warning that continues for another 25 minutes in northeastern Collinsworth County. Severe storm is well east of Highway 83, now moving towards Texola and Eric, Oklahoma. This storm does have mid-level rotation. In fact, it has a pretty good looking signature right now. Coming up on County Road 270, this is going to be in proximity of County Road G. A couple miles west of County Road 270, moving northeast at 35 miles an hour towards Texola and Eric, Oklahoma, eventually towards Sayre, if you prefer the proper terminology, but I added my own flair because it's my show and I can. Indications are the storm is producing very large hail, the potential for damaging wind gusts over 70 miles an hour, and yes, even maybe a brief tornado. Again, the lowest we can see here with radar data right now is 7,300 feet above ground level. So we're looking in the mid-levels, not the low levels. So we'll respect the tornado warning in place. This storm, regardless, has big hail potential. As this storm continues moving northeast, it should be out of Texas here in the next 20 minutes, which will end our issues for the evening in terms of severe storm potential in Texas. But this storm definitely has a look to it as it moves off to the northeast at about 25 to 35 miles an hour, meaning those of you in Texola, Eric, and Sayre will have the potential for mischief. And that means get ready for hail, get ready for damaging winds, and yes, it is possible this storm is currently tornadic or goes tornadic as it moves into Oklahoma. The environment out here is still favorable for the possibility of severe weather, including large hail, damaging winds, and yes, even tornado mischief. And remember, we probably have folks asking, well, what you talking about, Baldy man? Well, guess what? It's Texas Storm Chasers. It's the Texas Weather Roundup. We cover all 254 counties in Texas. I realize probably in terms of statistical probability, we have no one out in northeastern Collinsworth County watching us right now. But guess what? If one person is, and there's something going on out here, and we happen to warn them, and they're able to be in a safe place, my mission's complete. It's not about being famous. It's not about getting the most YouTube views. It's not about, making that AdSense money. It's not about me, getting rich. Folks, I'll let you know. We have 1.3 million followers on Facebook. The YouTube channels combined are over 350,000. You want to know how many corporate sponsors we have right now? 0. Do you know why? Well, because honestly, this is what I care about. Now, that probably makes me a cruddy business owner, but it is what it is. It's my pony show. So that's why we do what we do here. We're crowd-supported, crowd-funded, whatever you want it to be. I'm just trying to do what God put me on this planet to do, and I'm blessed to be able to do so. And I'm blessed that y'all are watching this evening. So, with this storm is now, the circulation at least, is about 5 miles from moving into Beckham County, Oklahoma. So once this storm is out of Texas, we'll be able to call it a night, and we'll be able to get this show on the road. But until then, we're going to be here helping to keep you updated. And those of you in Eric, Sayre, Oklahoma, heads up, this storm is heading your way, which means you're going to be dealing with some hail, some high winds, some heavy rain. I-40 is probably going to be slick, which means somebody in a tractor trailer or something of the sort's probably going to wipe out. There's some pretty nasty hills, some pretty nasty curves there on I-40 west of Sayre. This storm moving northeast towards Benonine, Texola. So Benonine, Texas, Texola. Heads up, this thing's moving your way with the risk of large hail, damaging winds, heavy rain, and oh yeah, by the way, there's a lot of cloud-to-ground lightning with it as well. So we appreciate everyone who has been tuning in this evening with this thunderstorm activity. I realize, originally we'd said we'd be going live at 5 p.m. Well, nothing was going on at 5 p.m., and to be perfectly honest, for most of the evening, not much has been going on outside of some hail issues, but we did have that tornado warning issued over an hour ago back southwest, and that is why we are here with you now, bringing you severe weather information. But this storm will be out of Texas soon, after it moves over parts of Benonine, Texas, Texola, and Eric,
The National Weather Service has issued a new severe thunderstorm warning for
Collingsworth and Wheeler County in
heading
Texas.
Off to the northeast. You can see the Weather Service has just put out a severe thunderstorm warning from Highway 152 west of Sweetwater, Oklahoma, all the way down through I-40 near Benonine to northeast of Ludi. So we are going to be done with this pony show soon, but it still could have tennis ball size hail. Well east of Shamrock, approaching Interstate 40, approaching Benonine, Texas, and Texola, Oklahoma. Tornado warning technically goes until 10:30 p.m. for another 16 to 17 minutes for northeastern Collinsworth and far southeastern Wheeler County out here in the Panhandle. Again, this is not going to be an issue for Shamrock, Wellington, Wheeler, the cities thereof. This is an issue for Interstate 40. Really on the Texas-Oklahoma state line. So we are going to be keeping a very close eye on activity tonight, but I do believe we're going to be done sooner rather than later, which would be nice. That being said, we actually do have a bit of an uptick in the rotation now as this begins to approach Oklahoma. I'm going to show you from the Amarillo radar just for the vantage point. You can see we actually do have a bit of a circulation that has shown up a little more clearly now southwest of Texola. This is going to be south of Benonine by about 5 miles. So this is moving off to the north-northeast towards Benonine, Texas, and Texola, Oklahoma. And we're going to be keeping a very close eye on it as it moves northeast. So again, can't rule out a tornado about 4 to 5 miles south of I-40 in far northeastern Collinsworth County and far southeastern Wheeler County. In the eastern panhandle of Texas. And this is going to be a storm that will be out of Texas shortly, but not quite yet. So we're almost to the finish line here in the state, but we're not there yet. And we do note this storm that is up on Highway 152, a little bit of a comma head feature with rotation right on the state line, west of Sweetwater, Oklahoma. So that could be an issue for parts of Roger Mills and Beckham counties in Oklahoma. But again, this storm is on the cusp of saying adios, au revoir, au revoir, bye-bye to the state of Texas, which will be nice for us. But you know what? At least y'all are getting rain. You know, you don't want the hail, you don't want the tornado issue, but you know what? At least there's some water falling out of the sky. So that's good. But we'll keep a very close eye on things as this activity moves northeast. Shamrock, again, you're clear in Shamrock. We do note the Weather Service in Oklahoma has put, Norman has put a tornado warning out for Beckham County in Oklahoma. So there is going to be a tornado warning continuing downstream to Texola, Eric, and Mayfield, Oklahoma. That tornado warning will include Interstate 40, roughly now from east of Shamrock all the way to Eric, Oklahoma, about 10 miles inside Oklahoma and Beckham County. That'll include Texola, Eric, and Mayfield, Oklahoma, and Beckham County. So tornado warning continues into Oklahoma as that pocket of rotation honestly is looking more impressive now. Even though we're looking around 7,000 feet above the surface, the rotation itself does continue to be prevalent and honestly looks better now than it did 15 minutes ago. So this area of rotation is intensifying as it approaches Texola, Oklahoma, which is why the Weather Service has extended that tornado warning downstream into Oklahoma. So those of you in Texola, Oklahoma, Benonine, Texas, the Collinsworth, Wheeler County line out near I-40 in eastern Texas, western Oklahoma and Beckham County, be in a safe place. That's going to be the lowest room, center floor. Let's try that again. The lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Now, this is going to be moving out of Wheeler and Collinsworth counties in the Panhandle in the next 10 minutes. So by 10:30 p.m., we should be clear in Texas. But those of you in Beckham County, Oklahoma, again, it storm's moving into Oklahoma now, so be in a safe place. That includes Mayfield, Texola, and Eric, Oklahoma, where a tornado warning is now in effect for Beckham County, Oklahoma, until 10:45 p.m. Here in eastern Texas Panhandle, northeastern Collinsworth County, and far southeastern Wheeler County, your tornado warning goes for about another 10 minutes, but will be concluding as the storm exits Texas into Oklahoma. That's what we're going to be watching for. Now, the how hard a training mode, it's a little less clear now. But if you look at the which way the wind's blowing mode, you can see that pocket of rotation southwest of Texola. So, outside of this shamrock, looks like you're done for the night. Rain and storms moving away, so you'll have a nice lightning chill off to your east. Texola, this storm and area of rotation moving in over the next 10 minutes, 10:20 to 10:25. Eric, Oklahoma, probably passing near or just north of town, but around 10:40 p.m., and this could be near Mayfield, Oklahoma, around 10:45 p.m., as it moves off to the northeast at 30 to 35 miles per hour. Outside of that, we are about to wind down here in Texas for the night, but again, we do have the potential for severe weather operations again tomorrow. That being said, Benonine to Texola, be in a safe place. That'll be the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. I'm going to actually pull up a traffic camera in Texola, Oklahoma real quick, see if we can't get some video. And this is, by the way, in case you're wondering what it looks like right now in Texola, Oklahoma, that's what it looks like. You've literally got rain, pouring rain, strong winds, the welcome to Oklahoma sign, which, debatable. And, yeah, so you can see it's pouring rain. That's what it looks like. And not a whole lot going on there. Definitely not a good time to be on I-40, though. We definitely have a pocket of rotation showing up. And I'll just switch back over to the Amarillo radar. It may be a little more up to date here. And you can see that pocket of rotation right about to move into Texola from the Collinsworth-Wheeler County line. So as that occurs, this will be moving out of Texas in the next few minutes. But those of you in Texola to Eric in Beckham County, Oklahoma, up to Mayfield, Oklahoma, you should be in your safe place. That's the lowest floor, center room, away from windows. Put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. You definitely don't want to be on Interstate 40 right now out in Beckham County on the Texas-Oklahoma state line. It's not a happy place right now as this storm moves off to the northeast. But the good news is this will be out of Texas in the next few minutes, and we'll be able to say good night when that occurs. But again, you know, we have severe weather chances tomorrow, Saturday, Tuesday of next week across the eastern half of Texas could be stormy with severe thunderstorm potential. So you'll have a lot more chances of seeing me. We definitely appreciate everyone who's tuned in this evening. I know many of you have nothing going on near you at the moment, but we definitely appreciate you tuning in nevertheless, and appreciate any feedback you can give us. You know, give us suggestions on what you'd like to see. Clearly, we cover Texas, so that's what we try to do the most. But hopefully that means, when it comes to Texas weather, you know who to trust. So we are going to start winding things down here soon. We appreciate everyone tuning in this evening to our severe weather operations, and we hope you will stick around on YouTube for our 24/7 live stream. We have a 24/7 live stream always on over here. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers on YouTube. You'll find that 24/7 live stream. And we'll keep things going here this evening as we continue monitoring severe thunderstorm potential. So on behalf of all of us, we hope you all stay safe, and we hope everyone keeps an eye out on the sky over the next several days. All right, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. Have a good one. We'll see you later. God bless.